Welcome! Hey guys, welcome back. I bet you guys weren't expecting to see me so soon, especially with the likes of Facecam. Well, if you guys remember, I did do Facecam vids, not just streams for Restream, which is now on a hiatus. But I did do this format, but it was mainly for the now going to be remade John Wick Daniel Salazar story. Now, I have a new laptop, and this is back. So, with that said, hey guys, welcome to part 14 of What If Mercenary Tao Turned Good. Before we get started, be sure to check out the Omniverse's homepage, where our channel mascot Omni will direct you to the Discord, both Google Docs, and everything else the Omniverse has to offer, along with smashing the like button, subscribing to the Omniverse of Nick, sharing the Omniverse around, and turning on all Omniversal notifications, and commenting in the future requests and expectations for the remainder of this year and onward. With all that said, let's get started. So, we open up where we ended off last time. We have just gotten done with the battle on Namek. Much later, so many twists and turns in the story. And Frieza has been dealt with in his third form against Super Saiyan Goku, killing everybody else. And Goku is about to use the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish everybody back to existence. But King Cold has a different itinerary this time. He goes to Earth to kill everybody off there and then blow up the planet so Goku never comes home. But as evil scientist, he awakens early. Dr. Gero makes himself known, but he is not alone. We get to see Shen return. You guys haven't seen him since the start of the tale. I told you guys he was coming back, but a lot of you guys didn't believe me. I always have a plan. Shen, whenever he escaped and told when he told everybody, like Tao, his brother, and everyone, they were gonna regret what they did to Tien and Chaozu, he meant it. He teamed with Dr. Gero. And with this, Android 19 is created early, and Dr. Gero is made into Android 20 earlier than whenever it happened. We don't know when specifically it happened. We obviously know it was before, much time before he and 19 actually made their presence known. And Tien and Chaozu make their reappearance with black and red gi, and they are evil still. But this time, so much time with Master Shen and Tao turning on the cause of the Crane School means that they are even more evil than in canon. And then we see something completely off-putting. We see a dead Vegeta's body, and then we see a legless, dead Nappa's body. And Dr. Gero says these two will be great on experimentation and complete rehabilitation to the Red Ribbon Army's cause. And with the help of Shen and everything, this means that the control that Dr. Gero has over his androids is superb. So there's not going to be any malfunctions. Now, don't get me wrong, Shen's not a scientist. As a matter of fact, many would call him stupid. But he did save Mercenary Tao's life and made him a cyborg. Now, yes, I could have made Cyborg Tao a thing. Spoiler alert, that was dropped. Because, one, forgot about it, two, didn't seem like an actually logical point to put just an android cyborg Tao, as fun as that would be. But for the ending of the story, visualization and imagination can be given to you guys for that to happen. But you'll have to stick around for the end to see if that's plausible enough, at least for you guys, to occur whenever you guys see the ending. So just stick around. Also, Dr. Gero knows, like I said in the last part, that King Cold and his forces are on this planet. But apparently, Goku and Tao and everybody else are not. Now, at this point, this is still 3, 4 even years before the canon arrival of these androids. That should go to tell you something. They have been working on this along with Shen for a long time, and they have gotten much farther than in canon, obviously with more help. Especially with Tien and Chaozu there to help also, and Vegeta and Nappa, you'll get to see what happens to them. But Dr. Gero stages a plan for war. Himself, 19, 13, 14, 15, 18, and 17 all go out to combat King Cold and the entire Frieza Force Legion. Meanwhile, Android 16, Tien, Chaozu, and Android Vegeta, whom, by the way, remember, he was blinded in both of his eyes and never healed. Now, this is a completely rejuvenated, recreated, and completely programmed Android Vegeta. So, this means that he's completely under Dr. Gero's control. No sentience remains of Vegeta and Nappa, unlike Tien and Chaozu. They're just with Shen because he's their master, and Tao betrayed the cause. So, yeah. Anyway, Android Vegeta has dark, black, and red armor, symbolizing his Cell Games attire, or Android Saga attire. No longer donning the Saiyan Saga attire. Not even Namek or Frieza arc. And his eyes, which once held life, are completely emotionless and pupilless. They actually resemble Baby. Now, if you've seen androids like Baby or Hachiek, they're more along the lines of Hachiek, but they could also be like Baby. They are completely red. Completely red. No pupils, nothing. Completely cybernetic eyes. As for Nappa, remember, his legs were completely sliced off by Krillin. And then he was blown down by the spread shot scatter blast. Now, believe it or not, Nappa actually held more life than Vegeta, because Vegeta, he was blinded in both of his eyes, attacked by literally everybody, and he was hit by the full force of a spirit bomb. Nappa, he was sliced in the legs, yes, bleeding out profusely and hit by a scatter shot attack. But just that little bit of life means that Nappa actually holds at least a tiny bit of sentience in him. Now, that is not going to go into the story at all, but it's just worth pointing out that Nappa, of all people to be killed and turned into an android, Nappa holds actual sentience in his head and is not a full-blown on android like Vegeta. And whether or not Gero would pick up on this or care about this with Shen around is debatable. But even if it weren't, like I said, it's not really going to cut into the story. It's just something worth pointing out to you guys. So, anyway, the main thing is his legs sliced off, so Gero replaces them with completely cybernetic legs. But everything else, he remodels Nappa. Actually, this actually fits. Vegeta and Nappa, more so Nappa, are modeled after the Fighter Z clones, Fighters clones, that we saw from Android 21 in the video game. So, Nappa, moreover, Vegeta gets that dawn because Vegeta's not a Super Saiyan and he never will be. Spoiler alert, Android Vegeta's not getting Super Saiyan. Anyway, yeah, they are going to be full-blown on androids. And they guard the underground bunker of the laboratory while Gero takes everybody else to war. Because if they all die, these guys have to be able to be alive and in the bunker of the laboratory, especially if the lab gets destroyed, to protect the lab, sneak the lab into seclusion, or, just figure out what happens from here. It's a backup plan. Evil scientists, always have to have a backup plan. Anyway, Purunga is summoned on Namek. And King Kai thinks about this for a second and stops everybody because he thinks, Purunga, does he have any limitations on him at all? Like only bringing one person back at a time? Because they have to bring back all of their friends that are lost. And then he looks at Earth and sees King Cold and the entire Frieza Force Legion, along with Dr. Gero and the Red Ribbon Army, planning a war against them. So if Goku and everybody does get wished back, no problem whatsoever, their planet is doomed. And from what he is hearing, seeing, and thinking, King Cold wants to kill everybody, so that way he can blow up the planet and Goku can never come home. So he forbids and yells at Goku, do not, under any circumstances, because yes, while you can wish your friends back and everything, do not make a getaway for home. We need to think of an actual plan so that way nothing bad happens, because now they're at risk of not going back to Earth at all. Elder Murray steps in because by this point Guru's dead, just pointing that out. And he says, why don't you just go for, and then he tells them his plan. Piccolo is brought back to life, which brings back Kami. So Shenron is then summoned atop the lookout, which Gero and King Cold's army barely have time to register. And between Shenron and Purunga, because Krillin has already died, so Krillin just by himself is wished back by Purunga. Shenron brings everybody else back to life. And this brings them all back to life on Namek. So, yeah. So everyone's brought back, but one of the wishes from Purunga is used to bring back Krillin because he died more than once and would need the Namekian Dragon Balls. So, yeah. But besides that, everybody's brought back, no sweat. So, even if there was a thing, like, for example, Tao did end up, like, for any mistakes or anything like that, that would be like, oh, Krillin wasn't the only one who was killed more than once in this story. What are you talking about? There's more than one out of the list you're showing here. Well, Shenron and Purunga could just tag team that. It's really not a big deal, especially since there's not more than two, and the next wish is crucial for counting what's about to happen next, and young Kami is a thing, which means that Shenron would have more than one wish. So overall, not a big deal whatsoever. Goku is excited and glad they're all alive, but then warns them about the danger on their home and says they need a plan now. And he tells them that if Frieza's father, King Cold, and the Red Ribbon Army are going at war, and they either team up or destroy Earth, they can't go home. And even if they go there right now and try to stop both of them, they can't. Goku's Super Saiyan is not mastered, nor do all of their powers together stand a chance. So, this means that they need a plan to train, and the gravity training is not going to do that. So, Elder Mori asks Purunga to show them a planet that they can train on to go and save Earth and everybody else. And Purunga, he would do this. he showcases for them Planet Yardrat, and the entire group makes a getaway trip to Planet Yardrat. Master Pubara hears about everything that's been going on, and he's more than happy to train all of them. Gohan and Piccolo get actual gains here, because up till this point, Gohan and Piccolo, first of all, Piccolo was born way later in the story. Gohan is his master, and he's a kid, and it's a much different relationship, and their powers really didn't exceed 20 times gravity, and not even Kaioken. Piccolo is not fused with Nail, and he is a purely good Piccolo. And Gohan is a much more thorough Z fighter. So, yeah, the dynamic is way different. Gohan actually gets Kaioken, and it really doesn't matter what level he would be at. I'm going to say level 5. Piccolo would be the same, because honestly, that's the best that I could showcase for him besides new moves. And as for everybody else, Goku, Tao, Raditz, Upa, Yamcha, and Krillin all don Yardratian gear. Goku tries to master Super Saiyan, and they all go through Yardratian training. Meanwhile, on Earth, Kami can only stand back and watch as, yes, he heard the whole plan, but it's not like he can do anything because he has to stay on the lookout. It's his job. And yes, as much as he is supposed to be the guardian of Earth, like, all he can do is protect the people around Korn's land, because he can't take on 2 bloody armies. And he could have asked to train with everybody else, but then Mr. Popo and everyone here would be in danger. The least he can do is make sure Mr. Popo, Korin, Yajirobe, Bora, and everyone in the land there are safely sent up into the sky, somewhere secluded, so that way they do not get harmed in what is sure to be an Earth, just a completely big war about to ensue between the Frieza Force Army, or the Cold Force, and the Red Ribbon Army. King Cold is just smiling that he gets to watch as all these Earthlings on this planet die, and then boom, just blow up the planet. And he tells all his forces to lay siege to everything, destroy everybody, and turn this planet into a wasteland. And Yajirobe and Korn are sent up with the people from Korn's land, and all they can do, along with Kami and Mr. Popo, is just watch as the destruction illuminates almost all the planet. Nam, Giran, bunches of humans, fighters, etc., whatever is of fighters on this planet, because Goku took them all with him, and the force of Cold just destroys everything. Cold begins to pick up on the fact that this Super Saiyan Goku, he must have taken all the strongest warriors to planet Namek, and they beat Frieza in his 3rd form. And this infuriates Cold, and he tells his army to pick it up. Do this faster, because he just wants to destroy this planet. If this Saiyan is returning home, he doesn't want him to have a home. He's going to destroy the planet and then blow his ship up in space. Or find the planet that he's on and just kill him that way. Especially if he's still on Namek. But then his army actually begins to get on the back foot of an opposing force. And the army is actually starting to fight back. And this is a huge army I'm talking about here. This is a huge army. So it's just questionable as to what's happening here. And before Cold can even think about what's going on here, his entire army is just destroyed. Sorbet, Tagoma, Shisami, all those thousands of soldiers just completely destroyed. Because Sorbet, Tagamon, and Shisami also didn't train here. So, and before you ask, where's Broly and Paragus? Are they going to become a thing? Wouldn't they because of King Cold? Oh, trust me. I've given hints to Broly actually being a theme in the Omniverse. He's coming, but that is a very side hunch for now. King Cold looks in surprise, shock, and bewilderment at the opposing force, which is now staring directly at him all by himself. Dr. Gero faces King Cold dead on. And he says, "Well, it looks like you're all alone there, Your Majesty. And now my androids are going to crush you. And this planet will be ready for when Goku and his friends return. And the Red Ribbon Army will rule planet Earth. As you and your army have figured out, you are no match for the Red Ribbon Army." And King Cold says, "So, you think that just because I am all alone, without a son, without an heir, and without an army, that I'm completely defenseless?" And he begins to get into a stance and says, "You would be deadly mistaken to underestimate the king of the Cold Force." And he immediately shows no holding back and no playing, and instantly goes into his fourth form and then stacks 100% on top of it. King Cold is dead serious. He is going into this completely angry, furious, and enraged. 13, 14, and 15 rush at him with everything that they have got. All their moves, everything. But King Cold just wipes the floor with them. Then Super 13 becomes the thing. And King Cold actually sees this as a fight, but he is still more than strong enough to take Super 13 down. Then 17 and 18. And King Cold actually is put on the back foot, not because of their power, but by their stamina and power together. And this forces King Cold to power all of his energy at the maximum that he can gain and shoot a gigantic, humongous death ball down. 17 and 18 try combined photon flashing and rapid fire blasting the death ball, but eventually they realize that even their infinite stamina and power, they can't stop this beam and are completely overtaken by it. Android 19 is still a thing, however, and he seizes the perfect opportunity. With his palm, right whenever King Cold's all out of energy and all the other androids are dead, 19, with his palm, he just flies in and rushes at King Cold, and he grabs him straight by the face. And he begins to drain all of his life force. And King Cold knows he's gonna die. But just then, within the flick of a switch, something happens that shocks not only the Red Ribbon Army, not only King Cold, not only Kami and everybody else, but I bet all of you. A death saucer strings its way straight towards both of the fighters, and it slices off 19's arms. It's Frieza. How did Frieza manage to get all the way from Namek to Earth? How did he survive? Does the Red Ribbon Army have any kind of chance with Frieza and King Cold on their last remaining forces? And even if one or both of the armies survive, where does the end goal go from here? Does Earth get destroyed? What's the next objective? And how will our group fare with their Yardratian training? As Mercenary Tao's redemption story just reached...
Now get out!
What?
Get out! Everybody get out!